Hello and welcome to this new video for me. Today it's time for my first ever set in Regulation I. Regulation I just got announced earlier this week, and today we have to figure out if Regulation I is made for Zamazenta and Calyrex Shadow, because this is the core that many players believed in before the format even started. I feel like everybody said if we play double restricted, Calyrex Shadow Zamazenta is probably going to be the best pair, and I want to figure it out today. I mean, one best of three doesn't determine everything, but we can take a first glance at Calyrex Shadow and Zamazenta. I know for a fact that these six won an online tournament on Limitless with like 75 players. The player went 11-0 with this particular team, and that's why I wanted to test it out today, because I think it has some really cool tools, at least for the early meta. We all know that the meta might change during the rules stay the same, but a certain Pokemon will rise up or fall depending on what is currently good or bad. But let's start with the basics with Calyrex Shadow and Zamazenta. So Calyrex Shadow, I think, is one of the best Pokemon in Regulation I, just because it is the fastest, and now all the pressure is not on Calyrex Shadow. Because earlier, if you went set up Calyrex Shadow, if your Calyrex Shadow died, you pretty much lost the game. Not always, obviously, but most of the time it was important to protect your Calyrex Shadow. Now with Regulation I, you can use Calyrex Shadow to deal a lot of damage early on and then maybe win with Zamazenta instead. You can force Terra Sterilizations with Calyrex Shadow. Your opponent might want to go for Terra Normal or Terra Dark. Zamazenta punishes it, and that's why this is also a good duo, because the only types that are good into Ghost are Normal and Dark, defensively to be fair, and then you have Zamazenta to punish those, and Zamazenta can not hit Ghost and Psychic types very well with Body Press, but you've got Straw Barrage, so it makes a ton of sense. We are running a Terra Grass Life Orb set, because usually I think Life Orb is not the best item. Probably Focus Sash is a little better in double restricted. I never played double restricted before in Sword and Shield or anything, just want to make sure that you understand that. But Terra Grass is nice because we have Focus Sash on Champow, because it's tough to fit another item on the Champow. And if you don't have Focus Sash on Calyrex Shadow, the Life Orb is the second best choice, but then you need a defensive Terra, because we want to survive Terra Water Surging Strikes from Choice Scarf Urshifu, for example. You want to survive a Sucker Punch from Champow. You want to survive a Shadow Ball from Flutter Mane if they have a speed boost during Sun or with Boost Energy, but there are now two very good Sunsetters in Kowaidon and Groudon. So you want to survive all that stuff, and that's why we have Terra Grass. Terra Water would obviously also be an option, but Terra Grass also has a nice application that you resist priority moves like Grassy Glide and Thunderclap, which you do not do with Terra Water. Substitute is really good to buy turns, punish defensive counterplay, and if you click Substitute, your opponent has to double up into Calyrex Shadow to at least get damage on Calyrex Shadow. But if they double up on your Calyrex and you attack with your other Pokemon, maybe protect with Calyrex, it creates a ton of mind games, and it is very hard for your opponent to punish both Substitute and Protect at the same time, or just an attack, because we also are heavily invested into special attack, as you can see. You can obviously run more bulk as well, but I really prefer this hard-hitting Calyrex in a restricted format, because with Life Orb, we can KO some Urshifu, we can KO Zamazenta if we are +2 special attack. We do not have Nasty Plot, but with as one as an ability, we can still get our special attack boosts. Or even without a boost, you can 2 KO Zamazenta. And I think with as much special attack as possible, you can also increase the chance to KO something like a Terrestrialized Incineroar with Terra Bug. We will get to Terra Bug Instant in a little bit, with a combination of Straw Rush, Body Press, for example. But yeah, that's why Max Speed is obvious for the mirror. But this set is really good, and I'm really looking forward to use it today. Next up, we've got Zamazenta. Obviously, when I was creating my little video, the ultimate Kelly Shadow guide, I mentioned it multiple times. You want fighting types as a partner for Kelly Shadow. But if you have a fighting type that is not affected by Intimidate from Incineroar, it's even better. We are running a Zamazenta that is rather slow, because the tricky part really is how fast is Zamazenta going to be, because I think Zamazenta is also one of the most used restrictors probably in Regulation I, because Zamazenta offers wildcard support, and with body press, I think a lot of teams will see Urshifu, Incineroar, Rillaboom, Raging Bolt as non-restricted, and against all of these, Zamazenta is pretty good. Terra Ghost is the choice here, because the problem is if you run something like Terra Dragon, I think Terra Dragon is better defensively, because when you don't get hit super effectively, or not super effectively, but Surging Strikes is definitely a problem from Urshifu, and resisting it is super nice. But with Terra Ghost you can be immune to Fake Out, which you are not with Terra Dragon, and usually you don't want to switch out your Zamazenta, and that's why you can create some scenarios where you have Kelly Shadow and Zamazenta on the board, and your opponent cannot Fake Out both of them, and that way you can also win games. So I understand Terra Ghost. I prefer Terra Dragon, but I want to test Terra Ghost out today. But why am I so slow? Because usually, you know me, I always want max speed Zamazenta, impish max speed to be fair, but 180 speed. The thing is, I feel like the Zamazenta will also go 180, and I don't want to play speed ties. Also, Terra Ghost helps in the Zama Mirror, but keep in mind, Astral Barrage is still tricky. But why do I not run 180 myself? Because I would also outspeed every Ogre Pawn, every Tornadus that way. I think Tornadus will not run max speed in Reg I. I think that is just not good. And also, there's still Timid Landorus, Timid Chiyu, Jolly Urshifu, right? But I think in the early meta, nobody will play that stuff. And the bulk can change a lot of things, because your opponent might expect certain KOs, but they don't get it because we have so much bulk. For example, Life Orb Modest Miraidon, I think, cannot KO with Zamazenta. And if they are Choice Specs Timid, the Electro Drift probably doesn't KO as well. I think it's a 31% chance if they are max special attack Timid, and I can see them going Timid because now there is Koraidon, Miraidon, GM Power, Fluttermane, you know all that stuff. So maybe Miraidon plays Timid in the early meta, and then if you survive an Electro Drift, it's insane, right? You don't have to go Rillaboom to survive it. You can just survive it that way. Really good. And we are still faster than Kyogre and Groudon, like all the 90 base speed Pokemon, basically. And that's why I wanted to test out the spread. Also a good Grassy Terrain number for recovery. If you ask me if Heavy Slam is better than Behemoth Bash in Regulation I would say Heavy Slam is still better, because you want to do more damage into Terrestrialized Incineroar, into Amoonguss, into Kelly Shadow, into Clefairy. I think Kelly Ice is good to have Behemoth Bash, but usually Body Press is enough against it. And Raging Bolt, we gotta see how much Terra Fairy Raging Bolt will be played. Maybe Brian today plays Raging Bolt. I haven't really mentioned who I'm playing against. I'm sorry. We are playing against... did I say Brian? What is going on? I just woke up, to be fair. We have 8 a.m. So I am playing against Diego Ferreira. I was thinking about Brian because of Hard Trick Room, and I can see Diego using Hard Trick Room because, as you can see in the title, we are playing against the best Trick Room player, because Diego had phenomenal results. He had a top 8 finish at last year's Worlds with Hard Trick Room, and just now he won the Brisbane Regionals with Hard Trick Room as well. He is a very good player. He always performs very well. I think he also has a top 4 finish this season, so I'm really looking forward to play against him. He plays in the Australian circuit. I think he is from Chile, but he's working in Australia, so he's currently living in Australia and playing the tournaments there. He will also be at NAIC, so if you want to know more or learn more from a hard trick main, maybe hit him up at NAIC. So yeah, really strong player, looking forward to play against him. But yeah, that being said, we should talk about the non-restricteds. We've got Urshifu Rapid Strike. Because Urshifu Rapid Strike, I think it will fall in usage in Regulation I, but Terra Water Choice Scarf Urshifu can remove Focus Sash Shadow Rider before it can move. We also survive an Astral Barrage from, I think, what was it, Modest Shadow Rider? If people decide to play Modest Focus Sash, I don't know. You should always run Timid on your Shadow Rider, but if people want to run Modest, I don't know. We still get the jump point in attack. We are 1 point faster than Kelly Shadow, as I mentioned, and the moveset is just the standard moveset. Urshifu punishes Kelly Shadow plus Zamazenta very well, I would say, if you position it correctly. It can also help a lot into Terapagos, because you have a secondary fighting type. It can also help against stuff like, it's not good into Miraidon to be fair, but it can help into Kelly Ice as well. If I want to defensively Terra against Kelly Shadow, for example, if they are Terra Fire, for example, you can hit them with Searching Strikes. So overall, it's Urshifu. Hitting for Protect is good. We have a double Fake Out core, so they cannot safely go for Protect in front of Fake Out. It just makes a ton of sense. I still say that Urshifu will drop in usage just because Raging Bolt will probably be high in usage. Shadow Rider with a defensive Terra is annoying. There's Koraidon and Groudon again. Even Rayquaza isn't something Urshifu doesn't like to face. So Miraidon, obviously. I think Urshifu will not have more than 50% usage in Reg I. It was really busted in Reg G, but in Reg I think it will not be that much. Then Incineroar. Terra Bug Incineroar. Why Terra Bug? Against Kelly Shadow Zamazenta, you want to bring Incineroar, I think. And Terra Bug is the only Terra next to Flying that survives the combination of Body Press plus Life Orb Astral Barrage, or Focus Sash Terra Ghost Astral Barrage. You need a Terra that is resistant to fighting and not weak to Ghost. So Terra Ghost is not an option. You cannot be neutral to both, like Terra Water is not an option, because when you also get KO'd, I think, you have to resist fighting. And if you go for Terra Fairy, you have a weakness to Heavy Slam, so it's also not really an option, in my opinion. Terra Ghost, I mentioned, you just get a Astral Barrage. So Terra Bug is the only type next to Terra Flying that can achieve that. But the cool part about Terra Bug is that you are not weak to Ice then, from like Ice Rider or Chiempao, and that's why I prefer Bug over Flying as well. Rocky Helmet is really good to break sashes, or just put Urshifu in range for Zamazenta, or maybe for Grassy Glide from Rillaboom. So that's why we have Rocky Helmet. To be fair, we don't have the best Among Us counterplay. We've got Rillaboom, substitute Terra Grass Shadow Rider, but I trust the builder that Helmet Incineroar makes most sense. You might be thinking, wait, why is there Flablets U-turn Fake Out helping? And that moveset looks a little weird, but it's easily to understand. We don't need knockoff because we have dark type coverage on Chiempao, we have ghost type coverage on Calyrex. So having Flablets instead to punish Amoonguss or to hit it harder, as well as hit Zamazenta at all, makes more sense in my opinion. You can also KO an Urshifu with a combination of Body Press plus Flablets. Body Press knockoff is a little weaker, and that's why it doesn't necessarily KO, but that's why we also have Flablets, I think. Next up, I would explain Helping Hand, because Helping Hand with Shadow Rider is just so good. I explained it on my Calyrex Shadow Guide. Helping Hand is just nice because you can move before fake out as well. This Incineroar is susceptible to fake out because we're also not Terra Ghost, but they take Rocky Helmet damage, and you can click Helping Hand as Trial Barrage because sometimes you just need that little bit of extra damage on your Kelly Shadow or on your Scarf Urshifu, and this is where Helping Hand comes in. Or can also help for Zama because, as I said, Zama doesn't KO Urshifu, but with Helping Hand, Body Press, you do. So that's really nice. And why U-turn over Parting Shot? Parting Shot is a good move, but it gets blocked by Clear Amulet, so that's not nice. And there will be a lot of Clear Amulet mons. Groudon, Rayquaza, and Koraidon, and all the physical restricteds pretty much that are not Zamazenta or Zacian because they are forced to their items. But you can U-turn against those, and you can punish Sturdy Ogapon Cornerstone because you break the Sturdy, which is also very valuable. And all the Focus Sashes. Focus Sash Calyrex Shadow, Focus Sash Urshifu, Focus Sash Champo. You break all the Sashes with U-turn, and that's why I think U-turn is very smart on Incineroar. And this spread you can see on the screen. I want it to be 1 point slower than opposing Incineroar for the slow U-turn, because if they are faster and they have a faster fake out, we can just go for Helping Hand instead, right? And the defense EVs are crazy. You survive the Searching Strikes from Urshifu most of the time, but you survive a max defense Body Press from Zamazenta if they are Jolly, for example, every single time. Not a crit, but other than that, you survive it. And your Impish Max Death Zamazenta has a 43% chance to KO you. So it's actually in your favor to survive a Body Press. And that's why I think Max Death or almost Max Death Incin is very smart on a team like this. Because you want to remove Zama as soon as possible because Champo is not great into it, Drilla is not great, Urshifu is okay, your own Zama is not amazing, Kelly Shadow, they can click White Guard, so you want to remove Zama, and if you get an extra turn with Incin, it is pretty good. And that's why I decided to run this kind of spread. The moves, as I said, not from me, from the team builder. You can find a link to the tournament in the description below if you want to check out what other teams performed well in that rather big Regulation I tournament. We also currently have the Victory Road tournament, so we will see what will come out on top there. But for now, the only tournament we really had that had a lot of players was this one Limitless tournament. Rillaboom, I just decided to run the old classic, 204 HP, 252 special defense, because that way you survive a Draco Meteor in electric terrain, as well as a Helping Hand Draco Meteor from Timid Miraidon outside of terrain. And as I said, Timid Miraidon might be a thing now, so surviving that is pretty valuable. We get the bump in attack. We also survive Terra Stellar Close Combat from Urshifu, you know the drill. Really curious to see if High Horsepower is the best choice. I like Terra Water because with Terra Water, you are not weak to Ice Rider whatsoever, because if you go Terra Fire, you have a High Horsepower weakness, right? And with Terra Water, you can also resist Ice and not be... I just said well, but I meant resist fire and not be weak to ground, which is also pretty cute. Overall, I think Terra Water might be the best choice because Urshifu also punishes Terra Fire Incin, Terra Fire Rillaboom, and yeah, we will see. I think Terra Water is definitely not bad. High Horsepower is interesting. It makes sense because now there's Zama, there's Incin. I mean, those Pokemon existed before, but they will exist even more now. Miraidon, Raging Bolt, Zama, Incin. I think U-turn is still a good move, but maybe we don't need it because with a team like Zama, you don't want to switch too much anyways. So maybe High Horsepower is actually the better choice. I'm curious to find out. But yeah, it's just a classic Rillaboom with a unconventional Terra. I mean, Terra Water is not super unconventional, but usually if you see a new format, you probably see old stuff just being carried over, and then Terra Fire makes the most sense. But I think Terra Water is actually pretty smart. nothing much to say about Rillaboom. And then we've got the Chiempao. This is like the best Zama partner. We also have Urshifu, so it's a good partner for Urshifu as well. With Ice Spinner, Crunch, Sucker Punch, Protect. You might say, where's the Sacred Sword? We got 2 fighting types, so we should not worry about it too much. Punishing ghost types is a little more important because you don't have Kelly Shadow on the field every single time, and that's why Crunch can definitely be good for those ghost types, ghost terrors and ghost types. And Ice Spinner sounds interesting together with Rillaboom, but maybe missing is not an option with Icicle Crash, and maybe you also just want to remove the electric terrain from Miraidon before it can move, and that's why I made with Chiempao also Jolly Max speed, because there's so much stuff running around 135 base speed. And maybe you force a Terra Dragon on Zama as well, and this is where Ice Spinner Chiempao can also be really nice, and if they are Jolly, I think Jolly Max Speed Zama, it has 128 speed base, it should hit 198 speed, and if you're adamant, you are suddenly slower than Jolly Zama, and that's why I think Jolly is just the best choice. Terra Stellar is interesting, but it also makes sense, because without Terra Stellar, Miraidon, if they have a little bit of bulk, they survive Ice Spinner. I think Koraidon survives Ice Spinner. Terra Ghost Shadow Rider with a little bit of bulk survives Sucker Punch. Was it -1 Sucker Punch from Instant, or was it just Sucker Punch? I think there was something like that. And Rillaboom can survive Ice Spinner. There's just so much stuff where Terra Stellar can be really useful. You usually don't want to go Terra Ghost anyways. It makes sense against Fake Out, but if you position yourself correctly, Terra Stellar is just way more threatening. So I really like the choice of it as well. And Chiempao really complements this team perfectly. So a very not standard 6, because there are some interesting techs like this Incineroar, for example, but a 6 that looks good to start off the meta. I know this team building part was a little longer than usual, but since it's a new regulation, I think it made sense to talk about all the possibilities this team has. So let's see what Diego is going to run. Does he pop up with just hard Trick Room? Because this is what he has been playing for years. So I'm curious to see what he will bring. Maybe Kelly Ice Miraidon, because that's the second most looking forward duo, kind of. You understand what I mean, right? Maybe something entirely else. Maybe Necrozma Dawnwings. We will figure that out right now. Alrighty, let's do it. Have fun to Diego. And this is my first ever Rec I game. I'm really looking forward to it. And he is using Miraidon. He's using his regional team just with Miraidon over Bolt, and he is using room service Miraidon. Okay, that's wild. Okay. So, man, this is already so interesting and so different. Okay, so I think Shadow Rider Zama is the lead I could technically go for. We've got Substitute on the Shadow Rider as well. He doesn't have Protect on Kelly Ice. Incineroar Max First Death is really good into Kelly Ice. We are also faster than Miraidon in Trick Room. Even with Room Service, we should definitely be faster. He also got Taunt Ogapon, which isn't great. Because we are not Max Speed Summer Center, we are also probably slower than the Ogapon. And there's a Torkoal. We are Terra Ghost Zama, so the Torkoal is also a little annoying. We've got Ice Spinner Pau, though. So I really like Pau Zama as a lead. Because Pau also helps against Miraidon, obviously. And then we bring Incin in the back together with Shadow Rider. I don't know if this is too weak against Torkoal, but the Torkoal also doesn't have Protect, so we can fake out it with Incin. Sometimes it's also good to not bring both restricted. You probably know that, but I just wanted to make sure. Okay, we see Ogapon and Calyrex. I can just go for Crunch Body Press into Calyrex. I could also go for Ice Spinner Body Press into Calyrex, because if he If he clicks taunt, he terrors, right? But he also doesn't have a switch into crunch body press. He has to click follow me, I think. Yeah, the problem is if he clicks follow me, maybe, okay, look, maybe I click crunch protect, because if he clicks follow me, he gets torque hole in for free. I guess I can click white guard then. I also still got instant full life, so maybe that's fine. But I like going for crunch protect. If he goes for Woodhammer into Pow now, it's a little annoying. Yeah, he goes for follow me. So we stall one turn of Trick Room already, which is good. He probably goes for Glacial Lance now to break our Sash and get a little bit of damage on Zama. But this is just crunch body press. Do I double the Ogre Pump? The Ogre Pump doesn't have spiky shield. In general, he has only one protect on the team with Ursa Luna. You can find his paste in the description below as always. And if I go for body press and crunch into the ogre slot, whatever comes in dies. So I think that's better. Crunch, body press. No Terra, that's good, because now we also got Sucker Punch on the board. This was a crit, yeah. I was about to say it never does 50 to POW. I was a little surprised, but then, yeah, crits are a thing. A little unfortunate, because now we are in range for high horsepower, but we get really good damage on Calyrex. If he goes to Torkoal, does he have... I think he brought Miraidon, or did he bring Indeedee? Also interesting to have both Miraidon and Indeedee on the team, on the same team. I have the feeling that he switches to Miraidon with Calyrex. Technically, I could also click Protect, but then he gets a free Miraidon switch. He will definitely do that. I know how Diego plays, so this could go wrong in a lot of different ways. If he just clicks Eruption Glacial Lance, I lose. Yeah, okay. Now I really hope that he clicks good old room service. Now I hope he clicks Flamethrower into my Zama. Eruption would also be fine, because when we get Instant in, we can go for Fake Out. Then we can go for... yeah, I think we should win. But let's see. Sucker Punch first. Eruption, okay. Now we can go Calyrex. We protect Calyrex. Toss... yeah, I think we always win. Unless he gets a crit with Flamethrower on Calyrex. Because I can go Calyrex, toss Zama, then go Instant, fake out Miraidon, Astral Barrage, and then Astral Barrage again. White? White. So this is an Calyrex angle. Maybe I'm underestimating Torkoal and Flamethrower just KOs me. He is not Terra Fire, he's Terra Grass, which is good for me. Yeah, 2 turns of Trick Room. So it's Protect. Body Press into Miraidon. in case he doubles my Calyrex with Weather Ball, or not Weather Ball, with Flamethrower, Electro Drift, I want to Body Press Miraidon, because then I switch out Calyrex and then I just kick Astral Barrage. So yeah, Protect, Body Press with Miraidon. So you really need to know how to play against Trick Room, because I think a lot of players would have also just clicked Insane and then Fake Out, but this is really good now. I could have clicked Astral Barrage immediately, but as long as he doesn't crit the Flamethrower, we are fine. Or am I underestimating Torkoal? I could have calced it, but I thought it's a Shadow Rider, and it's just a Torkoal, and it's just a Flamethrower. If this Flamethrower does 90%, so that we die to Life Orb, I messed up. He also has burn odds, but with burn he still has to do 84%, which I think Torkoal doesn't do, so he really needs a critical hit here. Yeah. So Astral Barrage, Fake Out Miraidon. Yeah, this is my best play. And my only play. Let's see. I could have also brought Rilla. Rilla isn't bad because of terrain control, and with Terra Water we are also good into Torkoal and Kelly Ice. So I could consider bringing Rilla in game 2. But for what? Urshifu is never a bring. Okay, Flamethrower. Okay. Even if he gets the burn now, he doesn't get it, we win the game, because we can just Astral Barrage, and now Trick Room ends. Even if Trick Room was would have been up for one more turn, we could click Protect and then Astral Barrage again. So yeah, that wasn't too bad. I could click Helping Hand, but why should I? So yeah. He can still Terra, but that, like, what does he want to Terra? Terra Grass Torkoal doesn't make sense. Terra Dragon Kelly Ice, Terra Fairy Miraidon, all of those are not really good here. So we just click Astral Barrage, and just for the fun we can click Helping Hand. Yeah, Astral Barrage, Helping Hand. Alrighty, that's game 1 for us. Really cool profile picture with Enamourous T. Did Enamourous T have any success at all? I'm really curious. I don't think so, but maybe. I'm not. Did it win one regional? Or what was the best placement? I think nobody really used it in Reg G, but even before in Reg I and Reg H, no, Reg H it was not allowed, but in Reg I, not Reg I, Reg G, Reg F, I think, was it allowed in Reg E? I'm not entirely sure, because nobody used it then. Okay, let's go into game 2. So, as I said, Rillaboom is an option. I could also bring Rillaboom instead of Incineroar. It would pretty much do the same thing. But if I use the Terra on Zama again, I rather want to have not a Rillaboom that dies to Glacial Dance, Eruption, and all of that stuff. What could he bring this time? So Kelly Ogapon makes sense as a lead. He could lead Kelly and Didi as well. Is it just Pau Zama again? Can I do something else? I could also lead with... Nah. I think it is Pau Zama every time. He doesn't have the best answers to Pau Zama. So Zama, Pau. I could also bench Shadow Rider and bring both Incin and Rilla. But Shadow Rider is such a good late game cleaner. But I think... Well, without Shadow Rider I probably would have lost the last game. I will try it with Shadow Rider Rillaboom this time. And I will not use the Terra on my Zama, if I can avoid it. I think Instant is better, to be fair, because it takes removes from Calyrex better and from Torkoal as well. But okay, where's Ogapon Calyrex again? This time I will double the Calyrex. Yeah. If I double the Calyrex. Yeah, I think I can double the Calyrex. If he goes for follow me, then I click protect, sucker punch. I get Rilla in. I can fake out and I can Terra Water, fake out body press. Then he gets in the Miraidon and I still have full life Shadow Rider then. So yeah, body press Calyrex, crunch Calyrex. I should have Ice Spinnered. I knew. I know how. Diego did the same thing against me at Worlds. Ah. That's tough. Yeah. Diego. Man, he's too good. I just crit him. I mean, that's not too bad, because the Calyrex now is very low, and I can just click body press on the Ogapon slot and protect, right? Even if he goes for high horsepower, I think I survive 2, and then I can get a double knockout with body press crunch, then I can protect again, or protect sucker punch, get Rilla in, go for fake out. So I think, yeah, I just body press, protect. Should I body press? Yeah, I think body press protect is correct. Let's see, follow me or... He goes for Woodhammer, well played. But now we probably see that our Zama is faster than the Ogapon. Yep. He could Woodhammer my Zama now, I know that, but then I can KO the Miraidon, the Ice Rider with Sucker Punch. Okay, that is perfect! Cause now I can just body press the Ogapon slot. And do I Ice Spinner or do I Crunch? The Miraidon could come in. So he has Ursaluna, Indeedee, Torkoal, Miraidon. If he goes to Torkoal, Crunch is better. If he goes to everything else, Ice Spinner is better. But I think I just go for Crunch. So body press the Ogapon and Crunch the Calyrex. He could go to Miraidon, but then I just click protect, sucker punch into Miraidon. If he KOs my POW, then I get Rilla in, and then I just win the game. Should I have Ice Spinnered? He is so crazy. If I Ice Spinner there, the game ends. Then he has no chance of winning because Miraidon dies to sucker punch and all that, but... man, he is crazy. Man, Ice Spinner. I knew he could do that, but I didn't trust myself. Ah. But since it's not choice specs Miraidon, I think my Zama also survives an Electro Drift. Oh, good switch. Death Drop, 20%? Nope. Now we can protect again, and that's what I was going for. Torkoal is the last... I just win with Shadow Rider. I could technically just toss both my Pokemon, like go for protect, and then Sucker Punch with Torkoal. But I just don't, I cannot lose this. I will just protect my Zama and Sucker Punch with Torkoal to get the Torkoal in range of Astral Barrage as well. Yeah, that was rough. Our matchup was phenomenal. Good play, good play. But now, since there's only one turn of Trick Room left, I can do the same thing as I did in the last game. I can go Shadow Rider, protect, then get Rillaboom in and win the game. So, yeah, I don't know what he could have done differently. Ursa Luna could have been a bring, but Ursa Luna is also super tough to position, doesn't have spread damage, and it has Earthquake, but there are like no good Earthquake partners. Yeah, one turn of Trick Room. Do I Terra? It honestly doesn't matter at all. Since, yeah, it doesn't matter at all, so I might as well just Terra. If he KOs my Zama now, I can fake out Miraidon, Astral Barrage. Yeah. Yeah, GG. Sorry for the pre-GG. I never do that, but I just want to highlight that the game is over. Even if he KOs my Zama now, I don't even have to click Fake Out with Rillaboom. I can also click Grassy Glide instead. There's just no way for him to win. I think it was just a rough matchup, and that shows how good this combination of Calyrex, Zamazenta really is. To be fair, he told me that he didn't really have time to build a Reg-I team, which is fair because Reg-I just came out, sweet crit. Doesn't matter, even if he quits the Dancing Gleam now as well, because I think Zama is so bulky that it doesn't even KO. Yeah, but as I said, what I would have done afterwards is, let's say Zama dies, I go Rillaboom, I fake out Miraidon, Astral Barrage, he can do nothing to stop that. He has Calyrex in the back, he can swap to Calyrex, but my Shadow Rider just gets double KO, and that's why it was a good decision to bring Shadow Rider in the end still instead of Incin and Rillaboom. And yeah, the team is good. If you want to try it out yourself, the rental is in the description below. GG's to Diego. Rough matchup. I'm really curious if Hard Trick Room will work in Regulation I. If someone can make it work, it's probably Diego. And yeah, that being said, I think it's time for the outro. Do I still have to add something? You can not just find the rental, you can also find the poke paste in the description below, of course. So you can try it out on Showdown as well. So yeah. Victory Road is also happening right now. Let's see which teams will emerge on top. I think Shadow Rider Zama will definitely be on top. But yeah, let's go to the outro now. So yeah, GG's to Diego. I think the matchup was just brutal. I don't know what to say. It was really, really good, and it really showed that in the beginning, people yet have to figure out what is good in Reg-I. And I gotta say, Kelly Shadow Zama will probably be up there from the start to the end. I still think that Diego is a phenomenal player. I respect him a lot. And yeah, maybe we will have a chance at NAAC again. Maybe at Worlds. We gotta see. He got his invite now because of the regional win. So yeah. What do you think of Regulation I so far? Which restricted duos should I test out? Because I will probably test out a different restricted duo every single week. So if you have any suggestions, please let me know down in the comments below, as always. And also let me know which opponent I should play against next. I want to be a bit. I want to get a bit more variety. Like every region should be represented. So I will have a really good opponent in mind for next week already. So yeah, I hope you're looking forward to it, and also looking forward to Reg-I and all that Regulation I has to offer in general. Which Pokemon will emerge in the top? Let's find out together, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.